I was on Twitter and I saw that Gingerbill was saying that he is having trouble with advertising Odin, especially because a lot of things in Odin, and specifically in this case, um, explaining to people that Odin doesn't need a build system. You know, someone looks up like how to build something in Odin, and then, or someone's asking about the build system in Odin, and like everyone's saying like, oh, Odin doesn't have a build system, you don't need one, and people just not understanding that you don't need a build system, an external build system, when you have foreign import and just the structure of the code itself. Now, this is sort of an interesting thing, and I think I have a okay potential solution or two potential solutions. You could sort of go in steps. Now, obviously, this video is sort of more for Gingerbill, but if you're other people, I think you'll sort of like a lot of these ideas as well, because you can sort of take the general idea and use it in other parts of like advertising as well. Specifically, that you're advertising on a negative. You're saying that the Odin doesn't have something. Anytime you say that something doesn't have something, it's much harder to advertise on that, because it's like, oh, Odin doesn't have it, he doesn't need it, and they're not really realizing what the alternative is, and the fact that the alternative is actually really good because there's no need for a build system, because it's in the structure of the project and the code itself. This is effectively just the build system, right? A build system has like if statements and like foreign imports and stuff like that, and then the compiler understands how to compile it. Like, the compiler knows how to compile it, and then the compiler also knows how to link with stuff as well. You can just do foreign import and use compile time if statements, which in this case is just when, and it just works, right? You don't need a build system. It's not a build system, it's just build, right? It's just in the structure of the code, it's just in the code itself. And that's what makes Odin such a simple and amazing language. Now, again, you're describing something on a negative. Now, I know why he did this because I've made this exact same mistake many times, actually. It's very hard not to sort of catch yourself on this, because for me and you and for a lot of people, removing code is almost always a good thing. So if you're telling someone, oh, you don't need a build system, we just deleted all that code, you don't need one. Me and you are like, oh, that's amazing, that's less stuff for me to do, and it means it's more flexible. For me and you, that means flexibility, it means simplicity, it means, not needing to learn something else. It's not configuring it. It's less problems, it's less bugs, it's less code, it's better, it's bigger, it's more. To me and you, less code is more. It's bigger, it's better. For a lot of people, they don't really see it that way. I think a better way of describing it is, well, there's actually sort of two ways of describing it that I think would be better, but specifically, you could say that Odin doesn't have the Odin's build system is not really a system, it's just build. You could sort of use that as a slogan at the top of a page describing the thing, and I think the best way that I could come up with to describe it, at least right now, you could probably come up with something better if you want to, I would say is structured build system. The reason why is because build system, as you know, is more of an overloaded term, right? Build system doesn't really mean build system. It just means the way that you build the project. There's a lot of things where it's not really a build system, it's just the way you build the project. And a lot of stuff it's just, like that. So that's the first part, is that you're sort of using that for people to understand it, that it has something like a build system, but it's not a build system because it's a structured build system. That way, you can have a link to a page that they can actually go to explain how the build system works, and that it's actually better than a build system, right? So this way, you're not saying that Odin doesn't have a build system. You're saying Odin has something better than a build system. Odin doesn't need a build system. Odin has something better. It has a structured build system. The build system doesn't really exist. It's encoded into the structure of the code. That's what structured means. You could basically, we're creating our own terminology that people can latch onto and understand. So rather than them thinking like that I need a build system, it's like, oh, Odin has a structured build system, right? They're able to latch onto that and understand, what that means a lot easier, I think. So hopefully that's already going to be helpful, but then also in terms of people looking up like Odin and the build system, they're going to be able to look up like, oh, how to build projects in Odin or the Odin build system. They're going to be able to use the word build system in terms of the SEO and the search engine optimization or tutorials on YouTube and stuff. And when they look it up, they're going to see structured build system when they look up build system. That way, anyone who's doing it will know how to explain it, and show how to build a project, and use, like, for example, the so-called thing as an example here, and that you're just going to be putting it into the code itself. The build system's encoded into the structure of the code itself. So hopefully that makes sense. There's obviously some other things I sort of could talk about in terms of advertising Odin, but I think it's been 5 minutes. I think this is a relatively good length. So hopefully that makes sense. If you want to talk about it, because I have some other ideas, or if you just want to pick my brain, um, you can message me on Twitter, I think, or somewhere else. I don't really know. I don't know if people are going to see this video, so I'm not going to put my Discord on here. People already see too much of my Discord anyway. But anyway, um, actually, Schwa can get in contact with me. He can find me. I work for the same person he works for, so you can ask him. Anyway, have a good day.